Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason here from the Self-Made Show. And on today's episode, I'm bringing to you a very special guest. His name is Julien Marion. And some of you might know him, some of you guys might not know him, but I think after you listen to this podcast, you are really going to walk away feeling inspired. Julien started off with some very humble beginnings. He has moved all around the world and has really become a self-made man. He runs a very successful brick and mortar business, a fitness studio down in Houston, Texas. He is a family man and he's balancing a lot of different business ventures with family, and we go into some of that. We go into some of how he reaches out to some influential podcasters and, interviews them and gets them on his podcast, which is called The Path to Unlimited. He has a book on Amazon that he wrote, and the guy is just doing a lot of different things and making a lot of good and really helping a lot of people. So I think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this interview, out of this podcast. It's going to be on, obviously, YouTube. If you're watching it, iTunes, make sure you subscribe to both. All of the links and all of the things that we have discussed will be on the show notes at the website selfmadeshow.com. And without any other delay, I want to jump right into the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and enjoy the episode. Julien, what's going on, man? I'm so glad to have you on the show today. Thank you for stopping by.
Well, what's up, Jason? Happy to be here, man.
Hey, man. So we got introduced and we hit it off, man. I was like, man, this guy's about fitness. He's a family man. He's doing all kinds of stuff. And I was talking to you about my son, and you're like, well, I got 3 kids. So I'm like, man, I have no excuse to not to not get my act together, man. So, man, just give the audience just a little brief intro about yourself, please.
Well, sure. I was born and raised in Africa, then moved to Belgium, then California, Mississippi, Texas now. Right. So I've kind of been a little bit around, around the world. I own a dance and fitness studio here, and also a coaching business and a podcast. I just love to just get people to push through their own limitations, that they have in life, whether it's in fitness, thinking that they can't get out of, the rut that they're under, especially when you have, kids. Right. It's very easy to put it on your kids to some extent, right? So, well, I don't work out because I have kids and I have to take them to this activity, right? And in business is, well, I don't have money and I don't have time. I don't have the education. And, you and I know this, like you can really be very successful in business nowadays without really formal education or money. A lot of the stuff are free. I mean, YouTube is free. Right. So, just momentum. So that's my passion, just really to help people push through those, self-limiting beliefs or limitations that others trying to impose on them.
And we were talking about, and speaking of beliefs, and like the name of your podcast is The Path to Unlimited. And I really like that. I was like, man, I wish I would have came up with that name. I like that, man. But really cool. So they can find you on iTunes, Thanks. Right?
Yes, if I'm on iTunes.
And then I know we talked about this yesterday, man. You're gonna be putting out a ton of content on YouTube, so
coming up. Yeah, coming up with that. I have a big challenge of the 31 videos this month, so I'm cranking it up right now.
Yeah, I was on a mastermind call and I had kind of talked out of my ass earlier. I was like, I'm gonna do 1,000 videos this year. And I was like, man, I don't think so, because like that's too many. That's the quality I don't think would be as good if I did 1,000. So, but 31, if you do 30 a month, you do 20 a month, man, it's definitely doable.
One every day.
Yeah, and so we'll link all your links and stuff in the show notes and everything. But your studio, man, I want to talk about that because I'm on your website. Yep. So it is movedanceandfitness.com, right?
That's right.
And you're based down in Houston, Texas. So we'll talk a little bit about your fitness philosophy, man, because that's very interesting. You played college basketball, international basketball, and all that. So what's your philosophy on just fitness and health in general?
I'm not a huge believer in like, let me lose weight and that kind of stuff. I mainly train women, whether in college, I'm a college professor. Right. My students are women. The majority of the time, fitness women. And what I teach them is pretty much, especially this year, I want to encourage them to have just one goal. Just one goal that you have for fitness. And I don't want it to be a weight loss goal, right? Because those are, I call them BS goals, right? Because it's like, You lose 5 pounds of fat, but you gain 2 pounds of muscles, so net loss is 3. And people get depressed by that, like, oh my gosh, I only lost 3 pounds. You know what I mean? So my philosophy, I don't want them to worry about weights. I want them to worry about just like consistency, right? Maybe it is like, hey, I'll do 3 times a week, because the rest of the stuff is going to take care of itself. If you're someone that just like have a couple of these that struggle with like bread, like eating bread at night, right? Carbs at night, which is not the best. So I pretty much just go on one goal, principles versus diet, right? Like, and just like water cures everything.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Foundation of all life.
Cures everything. You don't have enough energy, drink water.
Yeah.
You feel sick, drink water.
Got some right here, man.
There we go.
So what I find interesting, and I like that philosophy, because like it's a lifetime thing. I plan on being here for hopefully another 70 years. So it's like I'm not trying to lose weight or gain muscle to look good this summer. I want to look good. You know what I mean? So that was a shift for me. So many women, I'm sure you say, I want to look good in that wedding dress, or I want to look good for this wedding. It's like,
yeah.
Then what? Then you go back, you backtrack to what you were before, because that happens. I'm sure you've seen that happen quite a bit. So you guys do dance, and you guys do all kinds of like other type of stuff there too?
Yeah, we do. So we do dance lessons, right? We do dance lessons for kids and adults, but also fitness, for the parents. Again, mainly moms, because moms are typically the one that put themselves last, right? Like guys or dads, like it's easy for us to still worry about our business. Like, you know what? Like I can come in the office here and lock the door, and we're staying here.
Yeah.
Daddy is working. You will be here watching TV when I'm working.
I wish I had a lock on my door. I need to invest in one, man. I don't have one, but
yeah, do that, and just like remove all kind of just like dangerous stuff. So I know you're not going to die here.
Right.
You will be okay, but I can focus on doing work. Whereas moms, they're a lot more conscious of spending time with their kids, being present there, feeling like they want to give everything to them first. But then what happens is like at the end is you putting yourself so much on the back burner that you're unhappy with you. Right? Because you don't feel good in your clothes anymore. You don't want your husband to touch you anymore because you really are unhappy. But that trickles down to him. That, you know what I mean? Like it's such a family of a kid-centered families lately, nowadays versus like a couple-centered house. And so what happens is like your kids are the center of everything, and then you make them happy, and then now they're happy, and now you're there, and it's kind of like, so what do we do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, man, it starts with us. If our relationship isn't strong, guess what?
Yeah.
Our son is going to be affected. So it starts at the top. So I totally agree with that. And someone told me that a long time ago when she was pregnant. I'm like, man, yeah, okay. He's like, you gotta focus on your relationship, because if you guys break up, then what? You got another, split, family and all that, man. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that sucks. Right? I think I had a conversation about that yesterday. This lady, she's in her late 50s, and she was telling me how, because I was telling her, I'm starting, the business is pretty much me and my wife, right? So just the business business with your wife is challenging enough, but then having,
I don't do that. Look, I don't do that.
We're the opposite, right? So I'm an accelerator, she brakes, she's artistic, sometimes more number driven, right? So we constantly just, balance each other out to some extent, but still, like, it's like when you draw that line between, okay, now it's home, it's no more business talk. Right. And so I was telling her that, and she was saying, the funny thing is, some people, just like their kids are gone now, and now they're kind of like, okay, so what do we do? Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know you anymore, because it was such
themselves by their
exactly right. It was
stuff,
Yep, exactly, because you do everything. You take them to this activity, but then you don't have anything together anymore. So so that's why it's important to kind of just trying to focus on you guys, and then everything radiates out.
Yeah, and what I find interesting, so you've got your brick and mortar business that you're probably at that business, what, 8 hours a day, if not more?
I'm there, yeah. I guess if you put it all together, I don't know if I did, it would be some crazy time, but I'm here, I'm there pretty much like, at 5:40 in the morning, and then, I'll put you like 2, then pick up my kid, come back here, and I'll come back at night, and, we'll go till 9 p.m., so I wouldn't be there the whole time, until 9, but I love it. I love the interaction. I'm a people person. Love the interaction. Love the kids, because you really, as a teacher and a coach, get a chance to really infuse trust into them, which they don't always get. They might get it from their parents, but they don't always accept it from their parents.
Right.
But teacher or coach, like whatever I tell you, you're going to receive that much better than mom or dad.
No,
so I really love it.
It starts with the kids. I'm reading a book called Spark right now. I think actually I'm listening to it on audio, and basically there's a high school in Naperville, Illinois that has like a mandatory physical fitness regimen. It's kind of world famous at this point, but basically they do 30 minutes of physical education every day, and as you know, like the physical education is being driven out of the schools. And their test scores are on par with, they're the highest in the nation. They compete with Japan, they compete with all these high learning countries. So yeah, man, when I put my son in school, it's all going to be about, hey, what's your physical education? Because we have to burn that energy out. If we don't, man,
yes.
people go crazy. So I like it, man. And you know, I'm looking at your bio, man. You've done CrossFit, you've done ballet, you've done it all. Man. So
that's why I'm never afraid to try stuff, and I tell people all the time, if you start to be afraid of trying, and I wish I would have recorded that, you know, me taking a ballet class. That was, you know, my wife, she was a pre-professional dancer, so I say you can call her professional because she was getting paid too. Yeah. But I took a ballet class just as a, you know, I dare you to do one, you know, and I went in, you know, with tights and everything, and they were like kind of shocked because I look so much bigger. I mean, I'm 6'3", which is not super tall, but you know, 6'3", 205. For ballet dancers, like, you know what I mean?
Right. There ain't
I look like an NFL football players.
And some of the football players that I follow, I'm a big sports fan. Some of them have, like running backs will take ballet for footwork. So
yeah, and great job for your knees too. To just maybe strengthens a lot of that, you know, stabilizers around your knees, and which a lot of people don't always pay attention to because it's very single motion, like squats. You know, that's why you have like the 3-direction like lunges and stuff to really work on your knees and stabilizers, so that you don't get all those ACL injuries and stuff. Yeah,
that's dude, this ACL injuries every Sunday, football, even basketball is coming in too, man. So you played a lot of ball. Then where'd you start playing basketball at?
Initially, I was a soccer player.
Okay.
Right? I remember coming to Europe, and I was like, no, I'm a soccer player.
Yeah.
But everybody's trying to put me in basketball. So anyway, I started playing there, and then, you know, put my goals down, wrote them down, what I wanted to do, and, you know, start climbing them. You know, start being on my national team. Then I was the captain of the national team. Started playing against like a lot of like pretty much the elite, you know, in Europe, my age group, and that was really fun to be able to, you know, see that, you know, and be around it, and then, you know, playing college. Then I had a cornea transplant. Then I had to reevaluate if this is what I wanted to do, go back home and play. And decided, like, you know what, maybe that was not the best choice. But I didn't know anything besides basketball because I didn't want to plan B. I wanted to go all in. And if I don't make it, it's not because I was not committed, right? Because I hate people that are half committed to stuff. I never wanted that to happen, so I'm gonna go all in. If it doesn't happen, I think I'm smart enough. I'll figure something out. And so that's what I had to do, just figure the whole corporate things out. But I was like, you know what? I hate a 9 to 5.
Right.
I hate that something that is like repetitive. You know, I like challenges, new stuff. So started that, but deep inside, I was like, you know what? I found out that I want to launch a business. You know, once I went to grad school.
Right.
And that's what I started doing.
When's the last time you dunked a basketball? I know you can dunk. If you're 6'3", you can dunk for sure.
I don't know. This is gonna be crazy. For someone that has played basketball his whole life, you should ask me when's the last time I watched a basketball game.
Yeah.
Because I've not, since, you know, the business, the kids, the podcast, the coaching, I'm not that big into TV, into watching games, into playing games. You know, I feel like there's so much you can do to be productive and advance in life and help people that, for me, it's like I don't want to waste it watching a game for like 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
So I haven't. If I play, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, I'll practice for like a week or two, make sure that I know where my game is at before I step in. Because I do get calls like, hey, you want to play in this league? You know, we can make some money. And I'm like, okay, let me just take my game and see where I'm at. I hate to be a scrub. You know what I mean?
Well, you were probably a shooting guard, right? You're probably a shooting.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's what I did. I just play defense, shot the basketball, and, you know, so I need to like make sure I know where I'm at before I play. So I haven't played in a little while. I haven't watched basketball, but I know when you're a shooter, it's like mechanics, so it's still in you. You need just a little bit of time to just remember, and then you're good.
I'm from Indiana, man. So if you know.
Oh, you guys are shooters over there.
It's all basketball, dude. So But I agree, man. Like, I mean, I still watch a little bit of sports, but a lot of my friends that were former pro college athletes are like, man, I don't watch it anymore, dude. I'd rather be out there playing, or maybe, you know. So, yeah, the video games and stuff, man. I'll jump on like Call of Duty every once in a while, and I'll be like, man, these guys are good. But then I'm like, man, these guys are playing 10 hours a day. I don't want to be good at if I'm good at Call of Duty, that means like.
It's so funny you say that because that's when I had a big turnaround for me. Yeah. Is freshly married with one kid, and I remember that time I was like working at customer service, so it's like literally the bottom, the bottom, right. You know, and I'm there, and I'm like, you know, you get home and you want to like unwind, you know, the unwind me time, you know what I mean? Everybody has that, and I'm there playing Call of Duty, and it's like every game is like 10 minutes. You're like, I'm only gonna play 2 or 3 games, and you end up playing like 10 games, and like, dang, I played 2 hours, right? And I don't know when it happened, but I did like a matrix of my time because I look at somebody who was like my age and was really successful, and I'm like, I kind of got out of the autopilot mode, which I think like all of us at some point you get out of it, you know, where it's like, what the heck was I doing? You know what I mean? Like, what the heck was I doing? I got out of that stage and started looking at my time, and I'm like, geez, Julian, you spending all this time just driving, listening to radio, coming home, playing video games like for 2-3 hours, and then on weekend, who knows? When my wife was going teaching, I would be there. You know, like, I mean, my kid was little at that time, so he's a baby, he's sleeping, and I'm just there like playing 8 hours straight, right? And I just kind of got that. It's like, wow, I'm really wasting a lot of time, wasting my life just doing this. And that's why it's like, you know what? The first step I started like with Audible. Right, since 2011, this is when I really started with like, you know, listening to books every day. That was like 1 book a month at least. Went to grad school, although I stuck to school. So started that, and this is when like doors opened for me to teach, you know, in college, and then a job opportunity opened up, and then the business. So everything trickled down from the time where I got off of the autopilot mode and kind of really looked at, wow, like I said, I don't have enough time, but I'm looking at, and I'm just playing video games, listening to, like, my commute at the time was about 50 minutes and 50 minutes.
I'm
just of listening to radio.
Texas, so I know the traffic's not good. I'm in Austin. You're in Houston, so it's probably.
Everything's about 25 minutes. So that's what, for me, that's what it was. You know, Call of Duty was the last game I played.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on that. Those games are set up to be like addictive. Like you get a rank up, or, you know, in TV shows and series people are watching. It's like, man, like, life's short, man. We only got so much time here. It's like, what legacy do you want to leave, man? Do you want to be the best Call of Duty player, man, or you want to be like the best person that you can be? So.
Unless you monetize, right? Unless you monetize your gameplay.
Some people do.
And teach them. Well, this is how you snipe. You want to snipe right here, and you want to wait there, and because obviously I was a sniper in the game.
Yeah. Some people probably hated you then, man.
I was just like there waiting, boom, a couple of times. So yeah.
That's the way I play a lot, dude. I don't have the skill to like get out there and like run around. I just get killed. Yeah, man, I go through that, but just limited it, you know, is a key, man. Knowing your limits, knowing how you're doing your time. I use an app called Rescue Time on my computer.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one? Where it'll tell you like how much you spend time on Facebook, how much you know. So I really enjoyed that. So let's talk about, man. Let's transition here. The path to unlimited. What I found fascinating with you yesterday. So we're talking. Going through your podcast, I'm like, okay, he's got Hal Elrod, he's got who else did you have? John Lee Dumas. So I'm like, does he have these guys on the show, or is he using them like as like an example? And you're like, you know, I talked to him, so I want to know, and a lot of my audience probably want to know, how do you land somebody as a relatively new podcast or relatively new show?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling like one of my mentors, Noah Kagan, right? You probably know him because he's in Austin, Noah. And Noah's big for me, like in the beginning, especially with starting the business, right? Because at that point, like, you know, I never run a business, although you have an MBA, which tells you a lot about understanding business, but not the real, once the business is starting, like what you do.
Right.
And Noah told me a lot, you know, he shared that with me in terms of like how you can really connect with people. And one of the things he used a lot, which works, is, you know, a quadruple team guest whenever I'm going and trying to reach out to them. So obviously, the people that I'm bringing on is people that I truly want to build a relationship with. I don't just want to have them as a guest. I really, you know, like Al, I've, you know, read his book. You know, I've watched a lot of his stuff. Like, I really, you know, see this guy's like, in terms of like mastermind, like I want him. You know what I mean?
You're
like
saying Al, who we speaking?
Al Elrod.
Al Elrod. Okay,
yep.
Cool, yeah.
And yeah, so for him, like, like pretty much just like reaching out is as simple as that, reaching out, right? Reaching out through pretty much like every place that I can find him, I'll reach out at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? At the same exact time. The same, almost like a Hootsuite that people use for social media.
Oh yeah, I use that.
Almost do the same thing, but just to reach out to people. So it's going to be like at the same time, I'm almost like a blitz.
Right.
I'm gonna email you, Facebook you, LinkedIn you, Google you, Twit you at the same time. So there's no way that you cannot see it.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you cannot see it, right? And obviously, I'm already there, just commenting on stuff that you're doing.
Right.
I just intensify that just a little bit more so you can see me, and I make sure that people know who I am as well. So although I didn't have the podcast, I'm still writing a lot on LinkedIn. So you get to know who I truly am, and I have a following. So I have people that were review me or were just like endorse me, say, hey, this is who Julien is, and I think that character, building and the work that I've done for other people, kind of validates that. So that's what I did. It's pretty much quadruple team them in the blitz messaging,
like
and that's
that.
the easiest way to get at least a response.
Yeah.
Then you can open the door.
And what's cool is, man, I mean, if you're watching this and listening to this and you don't have a podcast, that doesn't mean you can't apply Julien's principles to networking with anybody that, is influential or even, whatever. Just, and you mentioned yesterday, too, which I found really cool, is you shoot a quick little video. Hey, I'm Julien. Here's what I'm about. Or, the charity thing, too, which you mentioned was a cool concept.
Yeah, that's what Al Elrod did. He was saying how for him sometimes he will go, and if there's somebody he really wants to get close to, then he will go and donate, right? So he go donate like $1,000 to a charity in his name. They say, like Jason, I'm like, okay, I can't get a hold of Jason. I'm gonna donate $1,000 to Pencil Promise, for example.
Right.
Boom, $1,000 in your name, and then I'm gonna say, hey Jason, I love what you're doing. I donated $1,000, it kind from you, and then they will probably just reach out to you and say, Jason, thank you so much for your donation. Right? But for you, it's going to be like, hey, okay, this guy doesn't just want to take 15 minutes of my time or pick my brain, but he really means business to some extent, right? So either blitz them, join one of their program because they show that you're serious. You don't just want to waste their time, or just go ahead and donate to something that they value. And that allows, again, you got to play. You got to pay to play to some extent.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
the higher the coach are, you have to do it. The higher the coaches are, the more sometimes you have to pay to play, so that they know that you're serious and you're not part of the bottom of the barrel that just wants to like pull.
Yeah. I was listening. It's really interesting that you brought this up because I was listening to Pat Flynn's podcast, and I forget the guest he had on. It's a very recent show, and he's like, the way that I do things, I think he calls it the poster boy method, where he goes through someone's course. He goes to like Noah's course or whoever's course, and completes it successfully and takes action on it. And then he's like, hey, I made $2,000 using your...
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, so you know his name.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think he runs videofruit.com.
Video Fruit, Video Fruit. We're part of the same community with Noah over there with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So that's why I knew it was him.
Yeah, no, that was interesting, man. So that's an awesome way to
but he did good. I mean, he has. I mean, his strategy is pretty awesome. Like he has done it consistently. He's been on John's show. He's been on Pat Lynch. I mean, you see, he's been on some of the top names. So he's very consistent, and it really works what he does.
That was one of my challenges, was a networking aspect of it, man. Like, reaching out to people like you and other people that are influential and being like, man, and connecting and getting our messages out there is key. And I was always like, man, like, I hate doing it, but like it's essential if you want to, get our messages out there and just put out good stuff. So, so yeah, man. So you got your podcast on, and how many shows? You're doing a ton of shows. I know we're gonna do a show here after we get off here. We're kind of doing a good time management thing. But so what's your goals with the podcast? I want to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, the goal is distribution, right? I'm seeing it more of just like distribution. So how do I want to go out and push this message, right? And my message is simple: is in life you either put limitations on yourself or allow others to limit you.
Right.
Point blank. Like that's it. Simple message. And you can look at every problem that people have. It's either because they put a limit on them or somebody else told them, no, Jason, you can't do that, Jason. No, Jason, you can't do a videos. No, Jason, you can't start a publishing course. You can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, you have a lot of years of experience, so maybe I should listen to you. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's true. It's true.
Versus like, no, man, screw that. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's people making millions just like off blogging, and you tell me I can start a blog that's going to be successful, right? So that's the simple message. So for me, it's like with the podcast, I want to be able to push it out and reach out. Like I have quite a few episodes just waiting. Right now, the goal is like it's reach, right? And the way to do that, and especially the way iTunes kind of works, it's about popularity of episodes, how many views episodes have. So versus having like a ton of episodes with no views, think of it as like it dilutes your strength,
right?
Right. So versus like I drip them in, right? But I still leverage a lot of the episodes. Like I might use an episode like 2 or 3 times on different platforms.
Right.
So I'm still pushing everything out. I don't go for monetization, up front like some people do, because that's not the goal of the podcast for me. Am I going to go for it eventually? Maybe, right? But that's not my goal, to go and try to, let me make some money out of this, right away, because that's not the goal. The goal is like really, how can I really help other people push through some of those limitations? I know I had some for the book, right? I told you that.
Yeah, the book too. We didn't mention that.
Book, yeah, I did the book like, and I've been writing this book since a year ago. Right, but I constantly just find reasons not to go for it or finish it, or that it's going to take a long time because people told me, "Oh, wow, writing a book takes a long time." Whereas, like, I know people that Grant Cardone, he said, like, what, his first book he wrote in like a weekend.
Yeah.
Right. And was it full of mistakes? Yeah. But it's like it doesn't have to be a best writer; it has to be a bestseller. So who cares about the fact that like you're not an author, like you're not a Stephen King writing a bunch of books. Like you're someone that wants to bring value, to have someone, to help someone change their life. So I'm like, okay, so if I feel a message can truly change somebody's life, like I have to go and get this out and stop making excuses after excuses. Get it out. It's going to suck the first version anyway. Right. And I'm not saying that I want to just put like crap, like, entrepreneurship that's sometimes viewed as like, oh yeah, put crap. It's okay. Put crap. You're going to fix it. Right. Like I don't want to put crap out, but also don't want to freeze because I feel like, okay, this is not my best work. Because it's never going to be your best work. If you're an artist, you understand that. Yeah. That it's constantly just my version of one is out. Okay, friends got, because your early adopters, which was your friends, family, your early followers, those people will be the one buying it. Right. And then they're going to give you a feedback, say, hey, I love this, and I wish you would have done this. And then you're going to look at your book, and obviously you're going to be at a different level in your life that you're going to be able to come back and say, well, you know what? Let me just add a little bit more in this chapter. Let me add a little bit more in this chapter. Let me just put a different resource attached to this. Let me put in episodes attached to this as a bonus. But then, like, you move to, like, different iteration, like the 4-hour week. The one that we saw, it's not version number 1. Yeah. Version number 1, only a select few saw it. And then he improved until, like, you have it now. Same thing with the Miracle Morning from Al Elrod, right?
Yeah,
Same exact thing. Yeah. So, yeah, just not being afraid to go take action and then just improve.
And your book is titled The Path to Unlimited, and they can find that on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's called 21 Days to Unlimited.
That's right, 21 Days to Unlimited. So definitely check that out because I think it was ranking pretty high when I looked at it yesterday. You were in the top 60,000 books, so that's a pretty good paid rank to have in your book, rank. So
cool. I didn't know, so thank you for telling me. You're the ebook king. So
I was actually talking to a guy today. Hey, you there, bro?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I was actually talking to a guy today, speaking on what you were saying. He's 16 years old. His name's Mark Messick. I have him on the podcast, and this guy's got 9 international best-selling books on Amazon. So, like you're saying, you don't put limits on yourself because, like, so many people, if you would have asked them, they'd have been like, dude, you're 16, you're 14, you're 15, you can't write a book. What are you doing? And it's funny because he was on James Altucher's podcast where I was talking to him. And I'm thinking, this guy might be a little nervous to be on the show. He's 16, whatever. And he's like, no, I was on James Altucher's podcast. But at the time, he didn't even know who it was. He didn't even really know how big that guy was. And I'm like, like, this is crazy because, this guy is
guy's kind of like a big deal.
Yeah, he's a big deal, man. He's made millions, lost it, and now I think he's...
But he's a great person, though. I mean, if you talk to him, like, he's a great person.
Yeah, it's a bounce back, type of approach, man. So, well, shoot. What else?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yep.
There we go.
Skype.
That's the only. Yep. Okay, we in.
So we talked about this yesterday too about Skype, man. Figuring out the right way to. If anybody knows, drop in the comments or show notes like what. I think this is the best way. Skype and call recorder. I know you mentioned you had another, way to do it as well, but it all is predicated on Skype, so we're kind of at the mercy of Skype. So people can find you at movedanceandfitness.com, right?
Yep, movedanceandfitness.com or tptunlimited.com.
Okay.
That's the podcast. I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there visible.
Okay, cool. And they can reach out to you and ask you any questions. Guys, you gotta subscribe to Julian's podcast. Really good stuff. I know you had Hal on there, man. So I want to ask you about your morning routine before we wrap up, man. What do you do every day to start the day?
My morning routine is pretty consistent. 5:20 I'm up. I have my clothes already ready, so I don't think too much about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm up, boom, I go, coffee usually is made, grab coffee, grab a banana, go out to the studio, got my 6 a.m. class. As soon as my class is over, I go in and I start just like going into, I have a friend, his name is Evan Carmichael.
Yeah.
I told you he's on YouTube. I watch some of his videos because he has a lot of inspirational videos. I start with that, one or two of them. I don't go past like 20 minutes, of that. I'm trying to really zone out, like remove any distraction that I have, like phones and stuff. Just trying to really be in the moment. Then I go and just write check my 5 action items. If it's a Monday, typically that's when I write them. So I only do 5 action items every week. Because I feel like only 5 goals, things that if I do, that I will feel very accomplished. Obviously, there's so many other stuff that happen, right, that you do, but those are the 5 that I want to do. Write those down. On Monday, if it's, for example, today, I would just look at them and see where I'm at, right? And then as soon as I'm done, with my kind of like that little time that I have, I start working on it, and that probably ends about 7:20, 7:30.
Okay.
By the time that I'm done. So and that's pretty consistent, like every day.
So
that's kind of like my routine.
5. You write that in like a journal type of thing, and you carry that with you, or is it digital?
Yeah, so I mean, usually I'll go old school.
Okay.
Like a hard piece of paper, something big, and then I also put it on my my notes. So on my iPhone, which syncs with the computer, syncs with the iPad, syncs with everything. But I want to have it in front of me as much as possible, just to remind myself of like this is a target. This is a target. Because very often it's like you're there and you get caught up by life, and especially when you have a brick and mortar business, there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of stuff that pulls you in every direction. So I want to just focus on remember those 5. Focus on those 5. Focus on those 5. And they can be
anything from business, personal type of things usually, and there's just 5 things you have to get done, right?
Usually for me it is business related.
Okay.
I try to have at least 2 or 3 money generating activities, right? Like I'm trying not to do I'm gonna set up a marketing campaign. I'm trying to have something that's active. Like I'm gonna call 5 or 10 customers.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to set up 15 trials for fitness or 10 trials for dance, or like very active stuff that I have power over. Versus like I'm going to have somebody sign up for for the podcast, for example. I don't know. Yeah. Something like active, not passive. Like I'm gonna set up a campaign on Facebook, passive.
Right.
I will go and call previous customers and see how they're doing, active.
Right.
Like something that you know you need to do. And it's, and I learned that from Jamie Tardy, another mentor of mine. She's eventual millionaire, and she does that, and she, the one who taught me that. And since then, I've been just like sticking with it. Just 5, not more than 5.
Right.
Because you don't have other stuff that's going to come up anyway. But just your 5.
I've fell to that trap where I've got this list of like 20 things I need to do, and like sometimes none of it gets done because I'm so overwhelmed. So I got this journal this year. I got it on Amazon for like $20, and it has like my 3 top priorities for the week, and then like medium, and then I just kind of go from there. Like these are the things that must get done, and I think if you put 52 of those weeks together at the end of the year, you're gonna be very successful. And so the consistency is a key. I think we're filming this January 7th. A lot of people are motivated, rah, but like my thing is like, where are you going to be March 7th? You know, if that motivation, it's got to be those consistent steps. That's kind of my approach to it.
Believe it or not, but 5 days. In 5 days, based on research, that's when people quit.
Yeah.
So it's 12 days in, right?
Yeah.
So right now people have about 5 days. After 5 days, they're going to be like, you know what? Maybe that wasn't the right one. Or I get a new job. Oh, you know what? I really wanted to, start this business, but I have this new job. I guess I'm going to put this on the back burner and, you know what I mean? And kind of stop.
Yeah, they set these dates.
Drifting. 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 One of the book that I love, and it was given by my brother. And I know you know it because you talked about it too.
Yeah.
Right? How like the old school Bible looking edition.
Yeah, I first read one of
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
And one of his book was also like Outwitting the Devil. And he talked about like how that's how we, the devil, quote unquote, like gets us is by drifting. Right. You know what Jason needs to do, but then Jason gets an opportunity to start another business that's very lucrative. So Jason goes there.
Yeah.
And then Jason gets there. It's like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't really like this, right? Like, I feel like unfulfilled and that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to go back there. And you go back again and you're going towards your goal and like, oh my gosh, a new opportunity. And you drift. You constantly just do this.
Yeah.
And that means you never go as fast to where you really feel this is where you need to go. And for me, that was obviously doing the podcast and the coaching. October 30th, I went full time into my business and full time into the everything else, the podcast, the writing, because I feel like that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like now, financially, am I exactly the same level I was before? No, but I'm getting there. Right. And if I have to like pick up some stuff on the way to kind of just like balance out what we need to be, then I'll do it. But now I know this is a clear path and I don't want to constantly be distracted. So whether it fits with the goals that I have or it doesn't, but I don't want to drift.
Yeah. I think
and then wake up.
Oh man. I wish I would have focused on this instead of 50 different little things. And I think you do some coaching and I do so as well. And I think you've probably seen that with some of your coaching students where it's like, whatever's hot, jump into the next frying pan. Oh, this is hot. I want to do Amazon marketing, or I want to do this, and this. It's like, for me, I talk about it in one of my videos. Like, my goals are this year to launch my course, do it successfully, and focus on the podcast. Those are the two number one things that I, want to focus on, as well as YouTube, which is, what you talked about, content creation, putting out good stuff. I'm not really worried about the money because that, will come. If you put out enough good stuff, man, people are gonna give you money, and so. And
people want to trust you, right? I mean, people want to trust you. So how do they trust you? Like, you have to earn the right for people to trust you. I know John, from Entrepreneur on Fire, he said that time and time again, is like people, you need to give people a reason to trust you. And I mean, the guy makes like 6 figures a month, from like all his stuff he has, but he gives so much content as well. Yeah. And he's very transparent, because I think with online space, that's sometimes the fear that people have, is that, like, it's not very transparent. Like, you say you do this, but I really trust that you're making 6 figures.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff, because some marketers have messed up the game to some extent, when it was like, I made 7 figures, or I'm a bestseller. I told you that, right? It's easy to be a bestseller on Amazon. Pick a category that doesn't have a lot of people in. Yeah. Classify yourself there. Sell more units. Make it free. Sell more units. Boom! You are a bestseller. You want to be international? Just push your stuff in Canada. It's international. Somewhere else. Sell enough units. Yeah. Boom! You're international bestseller. I mean, it's once you understand how it is, that this, like, you just manipulated the information a little bit, and now people are looking at it like, oh my gosh, you are an international bestseller.
A lot of ego inflation. It's not.
I'm like, okay, it's not like crazy. Like, are you changing lives? That's what I'm worried about. Like, are you changing lives, or are you focusing on you? Like me, I never want. This is with the studio, the podcast. I don't want to focus on me, but I want to focus on my audience. I want to focus on them and what they want to do, and I constantly just think of one person, that is there, that is stuck, that they feel that they're not moving their life. They have this book inside of them, their song, this business, but they don't know how to move, and they really feel depressed, right? Because when you don't have progress, you feel depressed, right? I've been there. Like, you keep on going to the same job, it's the same routine. You pick up your kids from daycare or school, and you go there, and the bills are there, and it's like there's no progress. It's stale, and nobody likes that. That's why people like to watch people on TV or on Periscope living an exciting life, and you're like, oh, I want that, but I'm too afraid to do it. Versus like, no, just try it.
Yeah.
Just try it. The experience and the way you're gonna learn about yourself is gonna be way up here. And then you're gonna maybe find a career that you're truly fulfilled, in, or something that is going to bring value to somebody else, because we can all create stuff, so that's kind of my mission now.
I like it. What you said you got a couple episodes ready to roll for your show. Can you shed some light on maybe the next one for the listeners? Are you still kind of
I have one. A good friend of mine, his name is Ben Allen.
Okay.
And Ben Allen, you can find him on YouTube as well. He's Groove 3.
Okay.
So GROOV and then the number 3, and he has a fitness business, Dance Live Sweat. I think it's Dance Live Sweat. I think it is. So he does pretty much fitness through dance, and he's out of Los Angeles. He's out of LA. Okay. And just an amazing dude. I mean, just really, really, really good. And I know dancing is also one of the biggest fear that people have. Which if you liberate yourself,
I'm scared, dude. I couldn't. I'm gonna have to come down here to Houston, man, and cut a rug up in the dance.
Mary Forleo?
Yeah.
Okay, so she had this thing called the B School, right?
Yeah.
There are a couple of friends that went through it, and one of the challenges that she had is to create a video of you dancing and posting it.
Oh wow, that is very.
It is, isn't it?
Just doing that.
Here we go. We're back in business.
Yeah. So, no, just talking about that sets off my anxiety triggers.
Yeah.
Because, man, that's. I think public speaking, dancing would be. I think dancing would outweigh I mean, imagine you were like, man, I'll pay you $100 to go up and dance in front of 20,000 people, or $1,000. I'd be like, oh man, I don't even know if I want to.
My first time teaching a hip hop class was outdoor in front of 40 kids. So I had to dance 40 kids. Well, my wife was like, yeah, you have to do it. So I had to just go and just man up. And that's what being an entrepreneur is, facing your fears, doing it anyway, and learning from it. So anyway, I just love this journey. So Ben, he's one of the guests coming through. Jarek Robbins is an episode that I had with him that I'm fixing because he had some of the sound issues on there. But amazing dude. That's Tony Robbins' son.
Okay.
Yeah, Jarek is he's a really cool guy. He looked like one of my cousins.
I went to Unleash the Power Within in Chicago this summer, and he talks about his sons in the seminar, which I thought was pretty cool. But I don't know.
Jarek is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. He's kind of following in his dad's footsteps, it seems.
And he doesn't. That's a funny thing, it's Tony doesn't give anything to them.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. There's no I'm gonna feed off daddy's success. Heck no. Yeah. He's create his own path. His own way, and obviously he has the same mission, but he's really living an unlimited life. Whatever he's thinking about, he's doing it. The time I interviewed him, he just got married, so he was, I think, about a week in.
It takes a lot of courage. I would be personally very scared if my dad was a famous guy like that. How do you've seen it before. How many celebrity kids are just completely messed up because they have this false sense or whatever, and he's out there you know what, I hopefully when I'm Tony's age or whatever, and my son's 20 years old, and I'm hopefully a millionaire or whatever, whatever my path is, I want to do that same thing. You have to make it your own. I'm gonna give you all but Warren Buffett does the same thing. His family here, they don't get anything. Yeah. So I like that approach. Hopefully, I'm able to execute on that and just whatever.
And for them, I think it's a lot more empowering to be able to do that. And then it's oh, daddy gave me all this. It's no, daddy can teach you how to do it, but I need you to go in and do it.
We're seeing that with Donald Trump right now. So. It's my dad only gave me $1 million to start my business.
Yeah, it's only $1 million. It's not much. It's not much you can do with $1 million.
Which was in 1970 or 1960, so that's probably $30 million today.
It's probably a lot more. Yeah.
Well, hey man, we could do this all day. I really appreciate it, Julien. I want to definitely do this again. Check back up, see where you're at, man. Hopefully, it's the next time we talk, maybe this summer on the podcast, man. You've got 1 million freaking downloads, a ton of subscribers. I want all you guys to subscribe to his channel, subscribe to his podcast, hit him up, man. He's an awesome dude. So I really thank you for being on the show, and hopefully we will do this again sometime.
That sounds good. And again, thank you so much, Jason, for having me.
All right.
Hopefully, that interview kind of inspire a couple people to push forward with their goals. So,
most definitely.
All right, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Wow, that was a really, really fun podcast to do with Julien. I came away with a lot of good takeaways, some really good vibes. As I mentioned before, the first time I talked to Julien is like I was talking to someone I had known for years. He's just a very, really good guy, from his business principles to his fitness business to just everything that he embodies as a person. So these are the type of people that I really like to connect with and bring to you guys to learn from, because he's taken massive action. The guy is just a guy who has done almost everything when it comes to fitness and business and sports and college, and so really, really well varied individual. And as always, the show notes can be found over at selfmadeshow.com/Julien Marion. That's Julien Marion, Julien, Marion, Marion. You can also find his podcast, The Path to Unlimited, on iTunes. All those links will be in the show notes over on the website. And make sure you guys, if you like the shows, the best thing that you can do to help out is go over to iTunes, leave a review. Give this a thumbs up on YouTube, share it with your friends and family, and I really thank you guys for listening. We're going to be bringing a bunch of new people on the show. I'm going to be out of town for the next week, so probably won't have any new episodes up. But after I get back, I'm going to have a ton of really cool people on the show. And if you guys have any people that you would like me to connect with and bring on the Self-Made Show, make sure you guys leave a comment. And thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you.